You never know who might find this video when they need hope the most. And subscribe if you want more faith-filled messages like this, because this channel exists for people who are fighting battles silently, people trying to hold on, people learning to trust God in hard times. Before we finish, I want you to remember one thing. God's silence is not God's absence. Read that in your heart again. God's silence is not God's absence. The story is not over. Your prayers are not ignored. Your tears are not invisible. Your waiting is not meaningless. And your pain will not have the final word. Because sometimes, the chapter that feels like the end is secretly the chapter where everything begins to change. So before you give up, hold on a little longer. Trust a little deeper. Pray one more time. Because maybe, just maybe, God is closer than you think. And before you leave this video, there's one final truth I want to leave in your heart. Because maybe right now you still feel uncertain. Maybe a part of you wants to believe everything I'm saying, but another part of you is still hurting, still confused, still wondering why life has been so heavy. And I understand that. Faith becomes difficult when pain stays longer than expected. It's one thing to trust God for a few days. It's another thing to trust Him after months of disappointment, after years of waiting, after prayers that seem unanswered. That kind of pain changes people. Sometimes it makes people stronger, but sometimes it makes people quietly stop believing. Not because they hate God, not because they want to walk away, but because disappointment can become exhausting. And if that's where you are, please hear me carefully. Do not let temporary pain make permanent decisions for your faith. Because emotions are powerful, but emotions are not always truth. Pain says, nothing is changing. Fear says, you're alone. Disappointment says, God forgot you. But truth says something very different. Truth says God is still working. Truth says waiting is not wasting. Truth says your story is still being written. And maybe this next part is exactly what somebody watching needs to hear. The hardest seasons of life often create the strongest faith. Not easy seasons. Not comfortable seasons. The moments that shape people the most are often the moments they never wanted to live through. Think about it. Nobody asks for storms. Nobody prays for heartbreak. Nobody wants uncertainty. But somehow, those difficult moments become the places where people grow the deepest roots, where character becomes stronger, where faith becomes real, where dependence on God stops being theory and becomes survival. And maybe that's what this season is doing in you. Maybe this pain isn't destroying you. Maybe it's developing you. Maybe this waiting season is shaping a version of you that one day will help other people survive what you survived. Because the truth is, broken people often become healing people. People who know pain deeply often learn compassion deeply. And one day, the very thing that almost broke you may become the testimony that helps someone else keep going. Imagine that for a moment. Imagine surviving this season. Imagine looking back 1 year from now, 2 years from now, and realizing, if God had answered my prayer the way I wanted back then, I would have missed something bigger. Because sometimes what feels like rejection is actually redirection. Sometimes what feels like delay is protection. And sometimes what feels like silence is preparation. I know it's hard to see now, but not every closed door is punishment. Not every delay is failure. Not every painful season means God left. Sometimes God protects people by saying, not yet, because timing matters. And maybe what you're praying for isn't bad. Maybe it's simply not time yet. And I know waiting hurts, but rushed blessings can create broken outcomes. God sees the whole picture. You only see the chapter. He sees the road. You see the obstacle. He sees the future. You only see today. That's why faith matters. Because faith says, I don't understand, but I trust. Faith says, this hurts, but I won't quit. Faith says, I can't see the answer yet, but I believe you're still moving. And if you've stayed until this moment in the video, I truly believe something brought you here. Maybe not by accident. Maybe because your heart needed this reminder. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible to God. Even now, even in confusion, even in disappointment, even in silence, He still sees you. The prayer you whispered and nobody heard, He heard it. The tears nobody noticed, He noticed them. The nights you almost gave up, He was there, even when it didn't feel like it. And maybe somebody watching right now needed permission to stop carrying everything alone. So if you're tired, tell God. If you're angry, tell God. If you're scared, tell God. If your faith feels weak, tell God. Because honesty with God is still faith. You don't need perfect words. You don't need polished prayers. Sometimes the most powerful prayer sounds like this: God, I'm struggling. Please help me. And if that prayer is all you have right now, that is enough. Because weak faith in a strong God is still faith. Before we end, I want to ask you something important. If this message spoke to your heart, write this in the comments. God is still with me. Not just for engagement, but because someone scrolling through these comments may need hope tonight. Your words could remind someone else not to quit. And if this message encouraged you, leave a like so YouTube can show it to more people who feel alone. You never know whose life might change because you took 1 second to support this message. And subscribe if you want more videos that strengthen faith in difficult seasons. Because if life has been heavy lately, you don't have to carry it alone. This community is for people learning how to trust God in hard times. People who feel tired but still believe. People who are waiting but refusing to quit. And as this video comes to an end, I want you to remember one last thing. The silence you're living in right now might not be the end of the story. It might be the part before everything changes. So don't quit. Don't walk away. Don't let pain convince you that God stopped caring. Keep praying. Keep believing. Keep holding on. Even if your voice shakes. Even if your faith feels small. Even if all you can do today is survive. Because one day, you may look back at this painful season and realize God was carrying you the entire time. And maybe your miracle is closer than you think. And maybe, before this video ends, there's one more thing your heart needs to hear. Because I know what happens after messages like this. For a few moments, hope returns. You feel stronger. You feel encouraged. You feel like maybe, just maybe, you can keep going. But then life happens again. The problem is still there. The bill is still unpaid. The doctor's report hasn't changed. The loneliness still feels real. The prayer still seems unanswered. And suddenly, doubt comes back whispering, "See, nothing changed." But listen carefully. Not everything important changes immediately. Sometimes the greatest changes happen slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. Think about sunrise. You never see darkness disappear all at once. Little by little, the light begins to arrive. At first, it barely feels different. But eventually, night loses its power. And maybe your life is more like sunrise than you realize. Maybe things are changing in ways you cannot yet measure. Maybe healing is beginning in places you cannot yet see. Maybe strength is growing inside you without you even noticing. Maybe God is rebuilding something that pain tried to destroy. Because faith isn't always about seeing proof. Sometimes faith is simply refusing to surrender when proof hasn't arrived yet. And I know someone watching this is exhausted. Someone is tired of pretending to be strong. Tired of smiling when everything feels broken inside. Tired of saying, "I'm okay," when honestly, you're not okay. If that's you, please hear this deeply. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to struggle. You are allowed to cry. But don't confuse exhaustion with failure. You being tired does not mean God is finished. You being discouraged does not mean hope is gone. You being confused does not mean your story has no purpose. Sometimes the strongest people are simply the ones who kept going while quietly hurting. And if nobody told you this recently, I'm proud of you for still being here, for still trying, for still holding on even when it would have been easier to quit. Because survival takes strength too. And maybe today, your victory isn't having all the answers. Maybe today, your victory is simply deciding, I will not give up. One more prayer, one more day, one more step. That's how healing often begins. That's how faith grows. That's how people survive storms they once thought would destroy them. And maybe one day, you'll tell someone else, there was a moment I almost gave up, but I'm glad I didn't. Because what if your breakthrough isn't behind you? What if it's ahead of you? What if this painful chapter becomes the story that proves God never abandoned you after all? I don't know exactly what battle you're facing today, but I know this. You did not come this far for nothing. Your story still matters. Your prayers still matter. Your life still matters. And no matter how silent heaven feels right now, never forget this truth. Silence is not abandonment. Waiting is not punishment. Delay is not denial. And pain does not get the final word. God does. So tonight, before you sleep, before anxiety speaks louder again, before fear tries to convince you to quit, take a deep breath and remember, you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still fighting. And maybe that means God is not done writing your story yet. So hold on. A little longer. Believe a little deeper. Pray one more prayer. Trust one more time. Because even when you cannot see Him, even when you cannot hear Him, even when everything feels uncertain, God is still working. And maybe your greatest testimony is being written in the very season you almost walked away. So before you give up on faith, hold on, because your story is not over yet.